Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Wuye Zhang, also called John, and today I'm excited to present my buy to hold investment pitch on Coherent Corporation, ticker symbol COHR. This is a company at the heart of some of the biggest technological megatrends of our time, from artificial intelligence to next-gen telecom, precision manufacturing, and more. My 5-year target price is $112, representing nearly 80% upside from its current trading price of $62.4 as of March 31st, 2025. Coherent is a global leader in photonics, lasers, and semiconductor electronics. It's headquartered in Pennsylvania and founded in 1971. It's evolved into a mission, critical supplier across industries like AI infrastructures, telecommunications, healthcare, aerospace, and adaptive systems. It has a highly diversified portfolio, both in terms of products and geographics, with over half its revenue from North America and the rest split between Europe and Asia. Coherent isn't just playing in the global economy, it's helping to build the next one. Let's walk through the three pillars of my investment thesis. First, Coherent is at the core of megatrends. It builds foundational technology behind AI supercomputing, 5G network, and next-gen semiconductors. Second, it has diversified and resilient revenue streams. It doesn't only rely on one product or one industry. Instead, it captures growth from a range of high-potential markets. And third, Coherent is significantly undervalued. Despite its strong revenue and margin performance, it trades well below the intrinsic value, creating a rare buying opportunity. Coherent's addressable market are expanding at a rapid pace. The global photonics industry is on a track to reach nearly 1.9 trillion by 2031, growing at a 6.7 CAGR. The telecom and data center market, driven by AI traffic, is growing nearly 5% annually, with Coherent already capturing $300 million in AI transceiver sales last year. In healthcare, Coherent has recentered the medical laser space. In adaptive optics, it's focusing on defense and high-resolution microscopy. And in aerospace, its technologies support missile systems and optical targeting for U.S. military platforms. Coherent is not just following trends, it's enabling them. Now let's talk about competition. Yes, Coherent faces large players like Broadcom and Applied Materials, but in Q4 2024, Coherent was one of the only two companies to gain market share. Its competitive edge lies in four key areas. First, vertical integration, which protects it from supply shocks. Second, R&D investment at 10% of its revenue, which is double of many peers. Thirdly, customized client solutions, which drives retention. And lastly, a genuine commitment to sustainability, which is something that's increasingly important to customers and regulators. Coherent enjoys a wide economic moat. Its reputation, intellectual property, and engineering expertise create high switching costs. It's deeply embedded into clients' system, especially in the regulated industries like aerospace and medical care. According to Porter's Five Forces, customers' bargaining power is moderate, but offset by specialization. Threats from substitutes and new entrants, practically insignificant due to high capital barriers and long certification cycles. This is a defensible position and a highly valuable niche. Now let's talk about what's fueling growth under the hood. There are three main drivers. One, aggressive M&A. A $7 billion merger with IIVI created a vertically integrated photonic leader. Two, diversify end market exposure. Telecom, healthcare, adaptive optics, and aerospace. When one sector slows, another one picks up. And three, relentless R&D. Coherent continues to innovate in laser tech, optical systems, and semiconductor tools, which keeps one step ahead of disruptions. The fundamentals for financials are solid. Q2 FY 2025 revenue came in at $1.43 billion, a 27% year-over-year increase. The network segment, driven by AI and 5G, saw 56% growth. The laser segment remains stable, and materials are benefiting from semiconductor demand. Despite strong operational results, the stock had pulled back to the low 60s, following broader sector volatility, not because of any company's specific weakness. This is a disconnect between price and value. Looking at Coherent's long-term chart on the technical side, the early 2000s brought dot-com volatility. In the 2010s, demand for OLED and display tech pushed the stock to new highs. And after recovering from COVID volatility, the 2021 merger initially caused investor hesitation, but still set the stage for its December 2024 high of around $112. Today's price around $62 reflects short-term market jitters, not a long-term value erosion. Let's take a moment to address the risks. First, Coherent operates in cyclical sectors like telecom and industrials, which means revenue can be impacted during economic slowdowns. In fact, we saw this in FY 2024, where revenue fell from $5 billion to $4.71 billion. Second, there's customer concentration. One client made up 10% of revenue for the last year. That creates exposure if a relationship changes. Though Coherent deeply integrated solutions at high switching costs help mitigate that risk. Third, they face geopolitical and supply chain pressures. With suppliers in China, Germany, and Malaysia, global disruptions could affect delivery and costs. But Coherent has vertically integrated much of its production, especially in the US, to reduce its dependence. And finally, there's risks of technological disruptions. But the consistent 10% R&D investment shows a strong commitment to stay in ahead. So in short, these risks are real, but they're understood, mitigated, and don't outweigh in the long term upside the stock presents. Let's now talk about ESG, not just because it's a checkbox, but because it's increasingly tied to long-term performance, investor perception, and regulatory alignment. Environmentally, Coherent stands out. They source 78% of their global electricity from renewables, which helped avoid over 230,000 metric tons of CO2 emissions last year. Even more impressive, they developed a recycling process that recovers 97% of lithium-ion battery materials, supporting a circular supply chain in energy storage. Socially, they're investing where it counts: safety, education, and inclusion. They funded 73 student scholarships, committed $125K to Black STEM scholarships, and have been named a Sapphire level safety champion. Governance is equally strong, with 55% of board being women or ethically diverse, and over 90% of shareholders' participation at the last AGM Coherent shows real transparency and engagement. ESG here isn't greenwashing, it's a woven into operation model, and it gives Coherent a strategic edge as investor expectations rise. Next, we have AI. Artificial intelligence isn't a trend, it's a paradigm shift, and Coherent is positioned to thrive. Its optical components power high-speed data centers. Its laser systems are built into AI-integrated displays and devices. Strategic partnerships with players like NVIDIA are strengthening its foothold. This is why analysts have a set price target ranging from $80 to $136, and why I am firmly believe that stock is headed towards $112 over the next 5 years. Strong leadership and governance are critical to any long-term investment, and Coherent checks both boxes. At the top is CEO Jim Anderson. It's also former CEO of Lattice Semiconductor. Since joining Coherent, he's realigned the company's strategy around high-growth verticals like AI and optical networking. Under his leadership, we've seen earnings per share grow from 27 cents to 95 cents, a clear sign of operational discipline and strategic focus. On the ownership side, Coherent is backed up by some of the smartest money in the market. 88% of the shares are institutionally held, including stakes by Vanguard, BlackRock, and Bain Capital. That level of conviction speaks volumes. From the governance perspective, the board is diverse and active, with 55% women or ethically diverse members, and an independent audit and risk committee ensuring accountability. The company also enforces a global code of conduct focused on transparency and ethics. Overall, Coherent management team is experienced, aligned, and laser-focused on long-term value creations. To wrap up, Coherent Corp is a rare opportunity, undervalued today but positioned at the core of tomorrow's technologies. It's enabling AI, 5G, and advanced manufacturing. It's not just participating in those trends, but powering all of them. With strong fundamentals, strategic leadership, and nearly 80% upside to my target price of $112, I rate Coherent a buy to hold. And thank you for watching, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have.